Random House Audio presents Magnificent Mind at Any Age, Natural Ways to Unleash Your Brain's Maximum Potential by Daniel G. Amen, M.D. Read for you by Marc Cashman. Part 1. A Magnificent Mind Starts with a Healthy Brain. Chapter 1. Are you wired for success or failure? The secret behind why some people achieve their dreams and others don't. At the Amen Clinics, we have been balancing troubled brains for more than 20 years. We see small children and the elderly and everyone in between. People come to see us because we use sophisticated brain imaging technology to help us understand and treat our patients. Plus, we use natural treatments whenever possible. It is through the lens of our imaging work that I discovered that when I improve how your brain functions, not only do I help you overcome problems such as attention deficit disorder, ADD, anxiety, depression, addictions, and anger, I also help you be more thoughtful, creative, energetic, focused, and effective. After looking at nearly 50,000 scans, it is clear to me that a balanced brain is the foundation for a life that is happier, healthier, wealthier, and wiser. That is the promise of this book. If you really understand how to develop and take care of your brain, your life will be better, no matter what your age. One question people often ask me is whether the mind is separate from the brain. The answer is clearly no. The mind and the brain are completely dependent on each other. Just think with me about Alzheimer's disease, which is clearly a brain illness. In our clinics, we do single-photon emission computed tomography, SPECT, scans. SPECT is called a functional scan because it shows how the brain works. It measures blood flow and activity patterns. A scan of a healthy person shows full, even, symmetrical activity. The scan of a patient who has Alzheimer's disease has holes which indicate very low activity in several important areas of the brain. Do people with Alzheimer's disease lose their minds? Yes, they do as the disease progresses. When you lose brain tissue, you lose your memory and your ability to think clearly. Now let's consider brain trauma. The scan of a soldier's brain that was damaged in an explosion in Iraq shows damage in the front of the brain. He was discharged from the Army within a year of the accident because he kept getting into fights with other soldiers, something that did not happen before the injury. Does brain damage affect a person's ability to get along with others? Of course it does. Damage the brain, and you damage the mind, and most everything else in your life. But what if we improve the brain? Does that improve the mind? Here's an example. Jenny, age 62, came to see us for dyslexia and ADD. She had suffered her whole life, underachieved at school and at work, and felt defective and stupid. She had been divorced twice and was estranged from her children. I had treated her son for ADD, and he subsequently reached out to her. With the proper diagnosis and treatment, she was able to feel much better and was able to make peace with her children. A balanced brain is the foundation for a magnificent mind. Here's a recent letter I received from the mother of one of my patients. With permission. Dear Dr. Amen, I'm the mother of Dale B., who was treated at the Amen Clinic approximately 8 years ago. Dale was 17 and in trouble with the law. He was brought to the clinic in shackles. After evaluation and treatment, Dale was able to be gainfully employed for 1 year in retail sales. He then joined the Army, where he excelled. Dale immediately became an Army Ranger. Dale was able to make a success of his life because of the treatment he received at the Amen Clinics. Dale was killed in action in Iraq on 3/18/06, just 3 days before his 24th birthday. We take great comfort in knowing Dale died a hero. I thought you might be interested in the part you played in this hero's life. Dale was buried at Arlington Cemetery with great honor. Thank you, Laura B., proud mother of Sergeant Dale B. Helping to unchain a young man from the shackles of failure to become a decorated war hero is a humbling experience. Even though Dale's death was very sad, he died on his own terms, doing something he loved. The details of Dale's story are unique, but the essence is not. I have received many, many letters thanking me for changing someone's brain and changing his or her life. Most people have the completely wrong idea about accomplishment and about what holds people back from realizing their dreams. The majority of people, like me before I began this work, take a common-sense approach. This is the same approach espoused by most self-help gurus, business executives, and head coaches who write "How I Won the Championship" books. Try harder, they say. Be your own person. Visualize your success. Work longer. Take responsibility. Stop complaining. Change your attitude. And do not let anyone get in your way. With diligent devotion, you can be anything you want in life. If you are not successful, then you are lazy, willful, or need an attitude adjustment. Look at me. If I can do it, you can too. The problem with this approach is that it simply doesn't work for many people who sincerely try to incorporate it into their lives. It often backfires. The harder many people try, the worse their brains, abilities, and behaviors get. No doubt, the tough love, kick-in-the-butt approach works for some, but it leaves countless others feeling demoralized, disconnected, hopeless, and unworthy. How effective do you think I would have been with 17-year-old Dale B. when he came to our clinic in shackles if I chewed him out and told him to try harder, just like all the other adults in his life had already done? Not very effective. What we did was completely different. A magnificent mind starts with a healthy brain. For you to realize your dreams in any area of your life requires your brain must work right. Your brain controls everything you do: how you think, how you feel, how you act, and how well you get along with other people. When the brain works right, you work right. When your brain is troubled, you have trouble in your life. Before we did anything with Dale, we understood the context of his life, listened to how he thought, and took sophisticated images of how his brain worked. It was clear from the scans and his behavior that Dale suffered from a brain that was out of balance. As we optimized the 3-pound supercomputer between his ears, he was able to mature, gain self-control, and claim a more effective life. With understanding and a balanced brain, he was able to develop the abilities to live a hero's life, serving his country and making his parents proud beyond words. With an unbalanced brain, he likely would have remained ashamed of himself, a disappointment to his family, and a drain on society. The first key to a magnificent mind is a balanced brain. With a balanced brain, we are able to learn from our own experiences and from other people to make our own lives the best they can be. The first step in investigating failure is to understand the brain. An unbalanced brain causes its owner immeasurable trouble, including difficulties learning, being distracted and impulsive, and making the same mistakes again and again. The secret behind why some achieve their dreams and others don't. With an unbalanced brain, most self-help or societal strategies to improve behavior do not work. Consider prison. Clearly, it is an extreme and costly attempt to modify behavior. Yet the recidivism rate is 60 to 70% within 5 years. Few people ever consider looking at the brain and helping people whose behavior is so bad they end up in jail. In a 2007 study that my colleagues and I published in the Journal of Neuropsychiatry, we found that murderers had significantly lower overall activity in their brains compared with a healthy group, especially when they performed a concentration task. These findings were especially prominent in the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain that acts as the supervisor, inhibiting impulses and difficult behavior. We will never improve bad behavior until we balance the underlying organ that drives it.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?